Kevin Harvick was freaky fast in Phoenix.
They've been chasing him all day. Harvick wins at Phoenix.
Ups and downs for Stewart Haas.
Finally gave up. Heading to the garage.
And Dale Jr.'s hot streak continues in the desert.
All the way to back up last week. Good job, guys.
There are certain drivers that excel at certain tracks, and this week the two were brought together. Kevin Harvick has won 3 of the last 4 races in the Valley of the Sun, and that means he's become very familiar with celebrating in Phoenix International Raceway's Victory Lane. There's team owner Tony Stewart coming in to give the congratulatory hug. Hello and welcome to NASCAR America. I'm Rick Allen alongside a member of NASCAR's royal family, Kyle Petty, 8-time winner in the Sprint Cup Series, and 29-year veteran Ken Schrader.
That makes me tired just listening to it.
2 races into the season. Have you seen anything that surprised you yet, Kyle?
No, I think it's been a great start to the 2014 season. Daytona is one style of racing. Phoenix is another style of racing. We saw a great competitive Daytona 500. I don't think we saw a surprise winner.
Right.
He was the best car there. Right. And I think the same thing happened at Phoenix. Best car wins.
Yeah, one thing that was a little bit was Kevin was able to go with a new team and win the second time out. I mean, that's pretty strong, which he did at Childress also in the 3rd race.
Let's take a look at how it happened as we go to the highlights for race number 2 from Phoenix International Raceway. And it's an all-Penske front row. Keselowski in the 2, Logano in the 22, bringing the field to the green flag. Kevin Harvick was the man on the move, though. Starting 13th, he gets by the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. first, and then the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he gets knocked out in the qualifying thing, works his way up through the pack. Here he is challenging for the lead right here after a very short period of time.
Danica Patrick and Justin Allgaier involved in an incident on lap 171. A lot of blame being pointed at each other.
That 51 was driving like a complete jackass out there. I am not at all surprised he wrecked.
So Justin Allgaier comes to pit road. He's got a lot of damage to the front end of that car. Neither car would finish in the top 30. Pit strategy comes into play. 80 laps to go. Race leaders are on pit road. The reason that strategy is they can't make it if we stay green.
That was longer than we had seen them run all day, so they were counting on some yellows.
Guys staying out, though, like Ryan Newman in the 31, and a caution comes out, placed right into the hands of that team.
Yeah, the 31 car is not a car that was spoken about a lot during the race, but at the end, they were there contending.
Kurt Busch had nursed a sour engine most of the race, and it finally gives way at lap 248. With just 9 laps to go, the final restart. Kevin Harvick on the inside, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the outside.
Kevin's car was doing everything it needed to.
Was able to get a great restart, stays out in front, and gets the win. His 3rd in the last 4 years at Phoenix International Raceway, and he has really figured out how to celebrate. Kevin Harvick scored his series record 5th Phoenix victory and 3rd since the track was reconfigured 3 years ago. Daytona 500 champ Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 2nd. That's his best ever showing after a victory. Joey Logano led 70 of the first 73 laps. He wound up 4th. Speaking of Logano and teammate Brad Keselowski, Team Penske scored multiple top 5s for the first time since Watkins Glen nearly 2 years ago. All 4 Hendrick cars finished in the top 11. The Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas were in the top 20, but historically, they have battled for the win in Phoenix, and this may be a letdown for their drivers with only Kyle Busch in the top 10. Here's what Stewart Haas Racing's Kevin Harvick had to say.
So excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am for, not myself, but for these guys and this organization and the sponsors and everybody who's a part of this race team to get into victory lane early and solidify everything we thought was possible and see it come to fruition here in Phoenix is something that I'm really excited about.
It was a long deal in the making, you know, and he said it best one day. He said that we had to date for a year before I would actually get married to him, but you know, it's actually worked out, you know, really good. For me, it's been adrenaline and confidence. It really just feeds off of that every day. You know, working 17, 18 hours on some days, I go home, I don't even feel tired. So, you know, it's adrenaline will wear off at some point, but hopefully we can keep it going.
Just unbelievable experience to go through the transition. And you know, basically, if you put everybody in front of me, I still couldn't tell you all their names, so I'm still learning that side of it. But all in all, it's been a great experience, and just put a lot of fire and drive back in me to want to be right here in Victory Lane.
Kevin Harvick bringing a lot of experience to his new team. Now, Ken, I want to ask you, is Phoenix International Raceway a rhythm track, and has Kevin Harvick figured out that rhythm?
Well, I think, you know, growing up in Bakersfield, California, Phoenix would have been one of the first big tracks that Kevin went to.
Right.
A lot of times you go to one of those tracks for the first time, you fall in love with it. And he's always been successful there, but it is very much a rhythm track. But he also knows what he wants his car to feel like, and that's where you got to make
important.
it work.
Yeah,
that's got to be a huge asset, bringing a guy who has wins already at Phoenix and bring him to a new team to help out Rodney Childers.
Yes, because they believe in what Kevin has to say. I think Rodney Childers believes in what he had to say. Just as Kenny said, you go there, you fall in love with that racetrack, you get in that rhythm, and you know what you want your car to feel like. Kevin knows what a car has to feel like at Phoenix to run competitive. Look at his record. But he's able to take that and say, okay, Rodney, this is what I'm looking for. Make it feel this way. He knows that feel. Rodney gave it to him, and look what he did to the rest of he made the rest of the field feel bad.
Yeah, he was a dominant car all race long. Now, Junior's still your points leader with a win, and Harvick also with a win makes him a Challenger round eligible driver. Points still matter. Historically, there have been an average of 12 different winners in the first 26 races of the season, so that leaves room for potentially 4 drivers to still make the chase based on points. They don't have to win. Here's your points leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Got to congratulate Kevin. Those guys were 2/10 faster than everybody all weekend in practice. They were just phenomenal. And to be able to run with them as we did all day was a big confidence builder for us. I'd love to have won the race and a little disappointed, but to come that close. But our team is performing so well. If we run second enough, you know, we're bound to at least trip into 1 or 2. You know, we ran second quite a few races in the last 10 or so races we've run, so I feel good.
All right, he feels good. Does that mean that all of NASCAR Nation is right because Dale Earnhardt Jr., its most popular driver, is doing well?
He feels good, he looks good, and all is right in Junior Nation right now. Yes, I think so. I think you look at it, you know, the talk all week was, will there be a letdown after Daytona for Dale Jr.? Second place in Phoenix is not a letdown. That's a step up. That's a huge step up in performance. I think he and Stevie, and I think Stevie Letarte called a great race at Daytona, but he also did at Phoenix, keeping him up front.
Well, and the thing is, too, they didn't, at the end of the day, wind up second.
No.
They ran second all day. They were the car, except for Kevin. So that means, I mean, they're there, and they've knocked on 2 doors already, and they're going to knock down a bunch more than just Daytona.
Very impressive start. This is the 4th straight year that Phoenix has followed Daytona on the schedule each season. Dale Jr. has improved his performance in those 2 races. This is the first season in which Jr. has led the points after 2 races since 2004.
I'm going to go, I just got to go with Kevin Harvick winning the race.
You want me to take Kevin Harvick off?
No.
Or you want him winning?
I want him winning. I think he's going to win the race.
Let's get rid of Carl.
Carl Edwards is really good here. Had a chance to win both races last year. Kevin Harvick, when determined and wanting to prove something, he's almost unbeatable.
Let's welcome in from Charlotte, Jeff Burton. First of all, Jeff, you nailed it. You picked our first winner.
Well, I must be lucky, so I'm going to quit right now while I'm ahead.
All right, perfect record so far. Managing restarts, it seemed like Kevin Harvick had that figured out.
Yeah, he did a great job. You know, like we talked about last week, track position is so big. Kevin had to lead, and every single time when he left turn 2, he still had to lead, and he cleared that outside lane. So that was a critical part of the race. We talked about it, how hard it is to get good restarts there, and he nailed it every single time.
Pretty flawless on track. How about when he came to pit road? Seems like the guys who came over the wall did a perfect job as well.
Yeah, really impressive. You think about it, new team, a chance to win early in the year. They never folded. They went over there, did their job, kept their track position. That was really, really impressive for a brand new team.
Jeff, we want you to stick around, join us later in the show.
I'll do it, man. Sounds good.
All right, Ken, restarts. How important at Phoenix?
Oh, you just need that whole track. When you're coming off turn 2, you want to be able to let that car go all the way up to the outside wall. And the fact that he was able to clear them made it happen. But he's got to go up through the gears and everything. He's got to do all that right. He's got to time it right. But when he gets down turn 1, that thing's also got to cut.
Yes, it does.
And the 4 team never made a mistake on pit road.
No.
Is that the key to success?
Not making mistakes is the key to success, yes, but that 4 team put in a pressure situation. You heard Dale Jr. say, best car all week long by 2/10. When you know your car is better by 2/10, that puts pressure back on the crew chief and back on the team. The team did a phenomenal job. They came in, they did their job, no mistakes, got him back out, and he never looked back.
It was like the perfect example of the word team, what they did this weekend.
A phenomenal start so far, guys. Next, we talk the other Stewart-Haas drivers, plus more on Kevin Harvick.
Keep looking behind his scorecard. It says freaky fast. He's got a good point. Awesome freaking job, guys. Hell yeah. Great job. What a race car. Great job, man. Thank you very, very much.
Available at the following retailers.
Anybody got any questions so far if we're back? No, sir. We're getting a little closer. I want to get to second, and then I got something. Needs a little bit more, I think, to run with the 4 and the 88, but we're not far off, that's for sure. Hey, just for the record, this was more fun to watch than last week. It's like there's more to do in here. Just got bunched up and lost a couple spots there. Nice work, though. Jimmy, I'm sorry the car wasn't any better than that. That was pretty sad.
Kevin Harvick gives Stewart-Haas Racing its 20th Sprint Cup victory since its inception 5 years ago. On the other hand, the other 3 Stewart-Haas drivers had hoped for better days. Tony Stewart finished 16th, while both Danica Patrick and Kurt Busch finished outside the top 35. Let's head to the winning team's race shop. Marty Snyder is at Stewart-Haas Racing. And Marty, how did the race-winning team celebrate last night?
Well, Rick, they didn't celebrate at all. As a matter of fact, they worked the entire evening. I talked to Rodney Childers, the crew chief for this team, and obviously they had a lot of fun in celebrating the win. But after all that was done with, they transitioned the entire truck over from all the Phoenix stuff to all the Las Vegas stuff. So they worked about 4.5 hours after victory lane and all the media obligations were done. So that's how they celebrated last night. Kevin Harvick does plan to take the team out for dinner tonight in Las Vegas, however. You know, I asked Childers who he was most worried about in the race, and he said, no doubt, the 88 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. And he reminded me of something as to why he was so worried about that team. Remember, Hendrick Motorsports has complete access to all the Stewart-Haas Racing setups. So Saturday afternoon, after happy hour, the 88 team went a little closer to Kevin Harvick's setup. And Childers joked with me, I was worried he gave him a little too much information there midway through the race when Jr. was catching Kevin Harvick for the lead. But obviously, it worked out for this race team as they went on to win the race. Now, as good as that car was for Kevin Harvick yesterday at Phoenix, they might move it up the schedule. It was originally scheduled to run next at Kansas. They may run it at Darlington. Childers told me he'll decide that in a few weeks. But he thinks the Las Vegas car could be even better. He told me in the wind tunnel, the Las Vegas car was by far and away the best car. So they may be a strong candidate to win back-to-back races here early in the season, Rick.
Thanks, Marty. For the other side of the Stewart-Haas Racing story, we bring in USA Today's Nate Ryan. It wasn't all smiles for the organization on Sunday, Nate.
Yeah, that's right, Rick. Harvick really salvaged what would have been a dismal day for Stewart-Haas Racing. Danica Patrick was caught in a spin by Justin Allgaier, and she had stern words with him afterward. She was very unhappy after crashing for the 2nd consecutive race and the 3rd time this season, going back to the Sprint Unlimited. And meanwhile, Kurt Busch suffered Stewart-Haas Racing's 3rd engine failure in 3 weeks. If there's good news, it's that supplier Hendrick Motorsports believes this was an isolated problem in the valve train, but it still cost Busch a likely top 10 finish.
How about owner and driver Tony Stewart?
Yeah, not such good news there either, Rick. Stewart was 16th when his pit strategy didn't pay off, and he missed a top 10 because of several late caution flags. It's still very early, only 2 races, but he virtually guaranteed in the preseason that his team would have 3 cars in the chase, himself, Harvick, and Busch. So there's some pressure to get this thing turned around quickly. And he already has seemed on a bit of a short fuse lately. He's grown tired of questions about the healing of his right leg that he broke last year. He could get more prickly if the struggles continue and the questions about his team continue to mount.
Pretty high expectations for Stewart-Haas Racing. Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
And Kyle, we see Kevin Harvick get the win, but the rest of the team really not that high. Are they worried?
No, they shouldn't be. I really don't believe they should be. And this is why I say this. I think we look at Kevin. First team, first driver, first new year, boom, he's hit his stride. Tony, still with the injury. Right. I don't care what he says, and he can't get prickly about it, but he still has that injury. Kurt Busch and Danica mark it down to luck. Wrong place, wrong time at the Daytona 500 and out at Phoenix. So I think when you look at it, you'll overcome that if you just keep digging.
I definitely agree with you, Kyle, on that, because they're too good a team, too many resources, too much talent. They are going to run good, win their share of races. Man, it's so competitive now. Yeah. Here we are, 2 races in, and I'm thinking, are these guys in trouble? No, they're not in trouble. They just had some bad luck for 2 races. But they got 1 car in victory lane already, and that's huge.
They are definitely celebrating that. Still ahead, some drivers that caught Kyle's eye, plus an in-car ride with Kevin Harvick.
This time, 4 tires and fuel. Be ready? Go hard, go hard, go hard, go hard, go hard.
He likes the handling of the car. Kevin Harvick down and away.
We should be good here. Do what you got to do.
Harvick wins at Phoenix.
Hell yeah! Great job!
Greens, Rite Aid, and Walmart.
This day in NASCAR in 1985, Neil Bonnet made a last lap pass on Harry Gant, beating the Skull Bandit to the checkered flag by just 8 inches at Rockingham. In 1996, Jeff Gordon beat Dale Jarrett by half a second at Richmond for his first of 10 wins that season. Get closer to NASCAR every weekday, bringing you inside NASCAR and all motorsports. NASCAR America, weekdays 5 Eastern, only on NBC-SN. Let's bring Jeff Burton back in. And Jeff, it appeared as though certain teams figured out that chassis change that we talked about last week better than others.
Yeah, it was pretty clear. You know, Kevin Harvick won the race, no doubt about it, for Stewart-Haas. But the 2 teams that really I thought had the best days outside of winning the race was Penske with Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. They both ran, I think, top 4 of the whole race. And then the Hendrick guys, you know, Dale Jr. ran really, really well. Jimmy ran well. Jeff ran well. Casey did not run well, but he found a way late in the race to get an 11th place finish. So those 2 groups, top to bottom, seem to be better than the rest.
How about the cars that were on the apron? Did that surprise you at all?
It surprised me a little bit, although we've seen at Phoenix that happen in the past, but we hadn't seen it on the new racetrack. I think the reason guys are down there is they're just looking for grip. There's less banking on the apron, but if it's newer asphalt that's not rubbered up, there's more grip down there sometimes. And I was surprised that it came about this quickly, but we definitely used to run there on the old racetrack.
Thank you, Jeff.
Have a good day, bud.
It seemed as though Kevin Harvick was on the apron quite a bit. In Sunday's win at PIR, Kevin Harvick led nearly 72% of the total laps run among his 23 other Cup victories. That is the 2nd highest percentage of laps led in his career. Only his 2006 Phoenix win, in which he led 81% of the laps, was higher. And as Jeff mentioned, a lot of cars trying to find some grip on this racetrack, and they were using the apron. We rode along with Kevin Harvick. We've got an onboard on his car. Let's take a look.
Yeah, out of the front of Kevin's car, we see he's on the apron. That's to the left side of this yellow line. We just heard Jeff Burton speak about the grip that he thought was down there. I think Kevin thought there was a lot of grip, too, because that's where he spent most of the day. Down the front stretch we see, not so much in 1 and 2. We see him go off in 1 and 2 here. He clips the yellow line to his left and drives straight up off. Now, out the back of Kevin's car, it's more dramatic. You see the yellow line right here. The majority of his car is to the right of that yellow line, which means he's down on the flat. He's able to get the car to rotate in the middle of the corner, drive straight up off, and he drives away from Joey Logano.
Obviously, Kevin Harvick finding the grip and getting to victory lane. We want to take a look a little deeper into the field at 5 drivers that aren't in the top 5 that have caught your eye.
My 5 that caught my eye. My first guy is Jimmy Johnson, and I'm going to say why. If you go to a Cup race and don't follow this guy, you probably shouldn't be at a Cup race, okay? This guy has led more laps, won more races, won more championships. What he does and what Chad Knaus does on pit road, you need to pay attention to. So this is a guy I watch.
Who's 4?
My next guy is on your end, Jamie McMurray.
All right.
Okay? The reason I picked Jamie McMurray is team leader. He's taken over the leadership role in Ganassi Racing. You're doing great here. Jamie did a lot better than you did. Let me just say that.
You did.
He's taken over the leadership role. You've got Kyle Larson, who's following his lead, but these guys have had 2 good, strong runs. My next guy, 31 car, Ryan Newman.
Okay.
Okay, new team.
You get him.
That's me? Oh, I got to go with him? Help me out here.
I'm trying to help.
I can't talk and walk at the same time as Ryan Newman. And the reason I say that, we talk about Kevin Harvick, 2nd race, win. This guy right here would have had 2 strong finishes. Got taken out at Daytona, was running strong, come back, good pit call, good pit strategy. Puts him in the top 10.
Who's 2?
I think we go to the next one. The 43. I'm going to let you get the 43.
All right.
Help me with that one.
I got
43.
Almirola.
Eric Almirola. These guys run strong at Daytona, too. had a good strong run going, got in a late lap or a late race wreck, but had good pit strategy with Trent Owens, who's a nationwide crew chief who stepped up to Cup. This team's learning. This team's going to get stronger.
Who fills the number 1 spot?
Last guy is Casey Mears, number 13. Where's he at? I'm going to let you get him. Now, the reason I say Casey is this. Casey had a strong top 10 run at Daytona. Strong top 15 run yesterday. 2 strong runs. If I go to that end of the chart, to that 13 car of Casey and that 43 car of Eric, the Richard Petty Motorsports and that team, these are Childress, Ganassi, Hendrick. These are strong teams. These 2 teams are overperforming and outperforming what their goals have been. I look for these guys to get better and better.
Impressive top 5.
Yes.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Kevin Harvick's not the only winner we're celebrating today. We're celebrating the winners in the heart of racing. From places like Toledo Speedway, where Ken Schrader actually won last year, to Southern National Motorsports Park in Wilson County, North Carolina, and all the way down to Gresham Motorsports Park in Jefferson, Georgia. More NASCAR America is next. Saturday, March 15th, Formula One season returns on NBCSN. Sebastian Vettel begins his title defense at the Rolex Australian Grand Prix. Coverage begins Saturday night, 1:30 a.m. Eastern, with an encore Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern performance on NBCSN. I'm looking forward to this year, or this week especially, because you guys are here. Kenny, most wins ever at Phoenix and a great career.
Yeah, no complaints. Would have liked to always won more, but 29 years without getting a real job, Kyle.
I'm with you, man.
A lot of trophies, obviously, you have won. Is that what drove you to get started trying to win trophies?
Yeah, it was. When I go through the King's house, I see trophies. I don't see checks. I don't see money. It's not about that. We ate breakfast out of his trophies. We had so many of them sitting around. All I wanted was a trophy. Go to Richmond. I'm running 5th. Everybody wrecks in front of me. Gives me an opportunity. I win a race. Go to Victory Lane. Get a plaque. No trophy. A plaque cut out in the state of Virginia. I wanted a trophy, and I got a plaque.
You can't eat cereal out of a plaque.
No, not off
What's
a
your
plaque.
favorite trophy?
I guess the Phoenix trophies, because I couldn't believe we drove across country to go to a race. You know, that was unbelievable.
How about your favorite?
My favorite trophy is the trophy the King won in Daytona in '64.
Well, what about your favorite?
No, I don't have a favorite trophy. Or Adams trophies. Some of those trophies, they mean a lot to me. Personally, looking at my father's trophies, looking at Adams, that's what means something to me.
Added pressure growing up in the family of the Pettys?
No pressure. What do you mean? I ate out of his trophies. You can't have pressure when you're eating cereal, when you're eating or Cheerios out of a trophy.
Any added pressure being a Schrader?
No, but I watched him win that ARCA race at Daytona.
Yeah.
That was big. I was happy for him in the stands.
That was impressive. Thanks for being here, guys. We're here all week from the entire NASCAR America family here on NBCSN. Thanks for joining us, and have a great evening. Pro Football Talk is next on NBCSN.